Would you mind sharing about your journey of starting your own hedge fund? What skills of yours encouraged you in the journey? Yeah, sure. I love to talk about it. Now, for those of you interested in raising money or starting a business, you can take my courses. They're great. Humbly unbiased. Or what you can do, you can take my MBA degree program. Go to haroonventures.com for more details. Now, one thing I want to mention, which is free, is the most important thing I learned when I raised money, managed money for years and started lots of companies, is how to network. But I do have a book that's free called How to Network. It's a couple hundred pages. I promise you, if you practice what I preach or talk about in that book, you'll do exceptionally well. Again, it's free, a couple hundred pages with a couple hours of YouTube links. And the way to get it is go to haroonventures.com. And then once you're here, just scroll down and then you can get it here. Again, it's free. Yeah. And I promise you, if you practice what I preach about in this book here, and you cool with failing over and over and over again, which you should be because you'll never make it unless you fail a lot, then I almost guarantee you'll be successful in starting companies, raising money, etc. Now, in terms of the hedge fund and your question, so I worked for other people for years, and I was always frustrated working for others. There are some people I worked for which are great managers, but others were not. And I'll never mention which ones they were. Most were cool. And so I talk about how frustration in business is a beautiful thing because it forces you to either get a better job at another company with a higher salary, etc., or better yet, start your own company. And so that's one of the many reasons I started my hedge fund. Also, I got my green card in '07, so that kind of gave me permission to just go for it, whatever. And so I got tons and tons of meetings. I networked a lot. As Michael Jordan said, I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's why I succeed. There we go. I don't know if I like that quote better or the Wayne Gretzky one on my shirt. Probably Gretzky because I'm Canadian, but I love them both dearly. But I went out to try to raise money, and I learned one very valuable lesson, which is just because you get a bunch of investor meetings doesn't mean they're interested in your product or service. And I know that might sound somewhat elusive, but the issue is that a lot of these large investment firms, when you meet with them, you're at check mark, and that's it. And I remember I went up to, as part of my global roadshow to try to raise money, I went up to Montreal, and I met with Caisse Dépôt, a massive, awesome pension fund. And it was supposed to be a half-hour-long meeting. It lasted 3 hours. And at the end of the meeting, I asked for the sale like I always do, nicely. And they said, well, we're very, very impressed. We'll monitor your company for 3 to 5 years, and then maybe we'll invest. And so I realized that just getting meetings with large institutions is not going to guarantee you a sale. Okay. And what I realized was that a lot of these people that work at these big investment firms, the more junior folks, the analysts, they have to take, 500 meetings or whatever it is per year. And that's at least one per day. And so you become a check mark, and that's it. And then I realized the best way to raise money for your startup or whatever it might be, the best way to raise money is to actually talk to high net worth investors. And I say that because the sales cycle is quite short when it comes to raising money from very wealthy people. And instead of going to a venture capital firm for your startup or whatever it is, or a large money management company, if you go there, there's a ton of bureaucracy and different levels you got to get through to make it to the next level and get people to invest in your company. Or you can talk to high net worth investors where the sales cycle is short. You can raise money from a high net worth investor in a couple of weeks. And the way to meet these high net worth investors, the way to network to meet them, is go to my website, download my networking book. I'll teach you all my tips and tricks. Or you can learn much more advanced stuff by taking my MBA degree program. You can start today if you want to. Just go to haroonventures.com for more details. Yeah.